Hi. I think we're live. Are we here? Hello, welcome. Hello, welcome. Hannah, hey Hannah. Rhonda, Stephanie. Oh my gosh. Hi guys, welcome back. I'm so glad that you're here. Hannah, hey Hannah. We got two Hannahs on right now. Hi guys. Kelly. Okay, welcome. Hey Stephanie, welcome. I'm so glad y'all are here. Where are you tuning in from? While we wait for people to get here, tell me where you're at. Last week I asked you what the temperature was. You can tell me again. If y'all don't know, I'm located here in Fort Worth, Texas, and we had, as I'm sure you've heard by now, crazy storms last week. We are so thankful we fared well here in our home. We didn't lose power. We also have a very powerful water filtration system. So if you guys don't know my obsession with my Berkey, it has only been amplified this week, but that's a note for another day. Savannah, hi. Welcome guys. Kelly, hi. So anyways, we had negative temperatures here. We had snow for days, which never happens. And now the high tomorrow is like 79, I think. So wild. So we're very thankful to be doing well here. Rhonda's in Arizona. I know Hannah's here in Texas. Well, welcome. I'm so glad you guys are here. I'm sure we're going to have people joining. Southwest Virginia. Awesome. Is anyone currently on not from the States? I know we had a couple of people. We had someone from Holland last week. Crazy. Yeah. Crazy. Okay. Well, welcome. I'm so glad you guys are here. If you don't already know me, I'm Molly. I'm a holistic nutritionist. I am a wellness coach. I am here to help you break down barriers to abundant living so you can show up for your brightest life. That is the mission of my business. A lot of times that manifests in nutrition and programs to really help you in your physical health, but I believe health and wellness is so much more than just your physical health. So I love to show up and help you guys in being your wellness cheerleaders on your path to showing up for your brightest life. So that's what I do here. Today I'm still sipping on the rest of my matcha latte. If you missed my recipe for this, I shared it recently and it's kind of life-changing. So that's what you're seeing me hold here. It's keeping me warm because it's like 50 degrees up here. But let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to this week's Monday with Molly. I'm so glad y'all are here. This is your weekly wellness pep talk here on Instagram Live. If you're watching the replay, welcome to you as well. Let's do a little recap. This is our third episode of Mondays with Molly. 2 weeks ago, I talked about 3 important functions of your gut. So we talked about how your gut is connected to your digestion and your nutrient absorption, your brain, and therefore your mood and so many other things, as well as your immune system. And then last week, we talked about your gut microbiome. So we really covered the basics of what your microbiome is, how you have 100 trillion bacteria cells that live inside your gut. Your microbiome DNA outnumbers your own 10 to 1. Blew some minds last week, which I love getting to do. So we talked about the importance of that and what your microbiome is and kind of how it serves you. So today, I'm going to talk specifically about 6 signs to look for that you have an imbalanced gut microbiome. There are a lot more than 6, but we're going to cover like 6 big categories. So I'm really excited because I know as we've covered some of these important gut health basics, you guys have been excited for more. So today we're going to dig in a little more. And so hopefully this will help y'all identify if you think this could be an issue for you. And spoiler alert, it probably is. So I really want you to stay tuned and listen in to the different issues that I'm going to share. And I want you guys, as I go, tell me in the comments if any of these resonate with you, if you've struggled with them, if any of these are issues for you. And yeah, we'll go from there. Okay, so again, we're only going to cover 6 and there's so many more, but today we're going to start with number 1, which is digestive discomfort. Number one sign that you have an imbalanced gut microbiome is digestive discomfort. And this one's hopefully a little bit obvious, but we start there because of that, right? So digestive discomfort is everything from gas, bloating, constipation, diarrhea. Either of those is not good. I'm a nutritionist. We do talk about poop here. Having healthy bowel movements is so important for the health of your body. Trust me. Pooping once a week is not good. Pooping 5 times a day is not good. Somewhere in the middle is where you're supposed to be. Hi, Maddie and Anna. Kelly. Okay, this is so fun. Okay, welcome, guys. So, digestive discomfort, any of these can be signs that you have an imbalanced gut microbiome. So again, hopefully that's pretty obvious because we talked about the basics of what your microbiome does, a big part of that being helping your body to digest and regulate your food and therefore your nutrient absorption. So anytime you have issues with your digestive tract and GI discomfort, or I really should say not even discomfort. Sometimes this doesn't manifest in discomfort. So that's actually part of my story. I had undiagnosed celiac disease for my whole life, a decade at least, truly. And I didn't experience pain when I ate. I didn't have digestive issues, at least I didn't know. So it went misdiagnosed for so long because people often assume if you have issues with your intestines, you're probably going to feel that when you eat, right? And I didn't. So it's important to note that any kind of malabsorption of nutrients is a part of this as well. So just any improper functioning in your digestive tract, your GI system, is definitely a sign of an imbalanced gut microbiome. So again, hopefully that one's obvious, but we're going to start there. So along with that, we're going to go into number 2, which is actually food intolerances. Allergies, intolerances, sensitivities, any range of a poor reaction to certain foods is definitely a sign of an imbalanced gut microbiome. So let's talk about why. There's a lot of reasons why. Obviously, some foods can cause inflammation and irritation to your gut lining, which can lead to lots of these issues, but also part of what happens here, like we discussed, if you missed it, go back and watch the previous episodes, but I'll do a little recap here. Your microbiome is really important for maintaining the structural integrity of your gut lining. And again, your gut lining has a really important function of maintaining the waste inside your tube of your digestive tract and allowing the nutrients outside. Unfortunately, what happens when we have an imbalanced gut microbiome is a syndrome called leaky gut. And you've probably heard of that. It's become more and more popular. People are more aware now of what leaky gut is. And it's exactly what it sounds like. You have leaks in your gut, right? You have holes in your gut lining. And so unfortunately, things that are supposed to stay inside your gut and be excreted out your system are not staying in there. They are slipping through these holes of your leaky gut and leaking into your bloodstream and therefore showing up in parts of your body that they shouldn't be. So a lot of times this is what's happening when people have sensitivities to certain foods. It's actually just because those food particles themselves are leaking into your bloodstream and reaching parts of your body that they shouldn't. So this is why this can manifest in so many different ways and places. Literally anywhere in your body, because it's not just digestive discomfort. So that's important to note too, is that a lot of people assume that food allergies or intolerances would look like pain after eating that food. And sometimes it does, but sometimes it doesn't. A lot of times it doesn't. A lot of times, unfortunately, it's just in like other inflammatory places. So for me, this was headaches. Again, going back to celiac disease. Celiac disease means I'm highly allergic to gluten. I did not know that. And like most Americans, I was eating gluten everywhere in my diet. I wasn't experiencing digestive discomfort from eating gluten, but I had quite literally headaches every single day of my life. I did not know what life felt like without headaches until I stopped eating gluten. Like I genuinely, it was mind-blowing. I knew I was in pain, but it was every day of my life to the point where I just forgot. Like I would wake up with a headache every day. So again, that's just important to note. Food intolerances can manifest in more than just digestive discomfort when you eat those foods, right? So that can look like lots of different things. So that's a sign of leaky gut. So GI, not just GI pain, but headaches, brain fog, like all kinds of other inflammatory issues. Joint pain, arthritis, like any inflammation anywhere in your body could be a sign of this issue, right? Just because inflammatory particles are leaking into parts of your system that they're not supposed to be. Because thankfully, our bloodstream does get our blood to every single tissue in our body, which unfortunately means that when we have this issue going on, it can be reaching anywhere and everywhere in our body. But so number 1 was digestive issues, digestive discomfort. Number 2 is food intolerances, allergies, or sensitivities. Number 3, the third sign that you have an imbalance in your gut microbiome is mood disorders. Okay. Let's see. Sarah, Megan, Evelyn. Hi, guys. I'm so glad y'all are here. Okay. Yes, so mood disorders. So let's go back to what I shared 2 weeks ago when I talked about how your gut is connected to your brain. One of the facts I shared with you is that 95% of your serotonin is created in your gut. Serotonin is what makes you feel good and happy and helps you modulate your emotions in a lot of ways. So I talked about how and why your gut actually experiences the world before your brain even does, which is just mind-blowing because we think of it the opposite way around. But 95% of your serotonin is made in your gut, and so many of your other neurotransmitters are made there too. And your neurotransmitters are what help your brain modulate the world around you, help your brain process your emotions. So anxiety, depression, these are such real experiences. And if you are feeling them, I need you to know this is real and you are having a physical experience in your body. I believe very strongly that mood disorders are more than just physical. There are ways that we can support healing and relief from anxiety and depression outside of just physical things. There's emotional and spiritual aspects to that, but it is a physical experience that your brain and your body is not operating the way that it should. And so there is so much you can do to combat mood disorders simply by focusing on your gut. Because again, like, I'm just going to keep this as simple as possible. 95% of your serotonin is made in your gut. If by bacteria, something other than your own body cells. So if your gut microbiome is out of balance, if you don't have the right balance of the good and bad bacteria, or again, going back, your microbiome is more than just bacteria. It's also protozoa and fungi and even viruses, which I know I'm about to get flagged for saying that word right now, but it's okay because it's real. All these things impact the ecosystem of your microbiome. And so, I mean, there's so much to this, but I can keep it that simple, right? 95% of your serotonin being made in your gut. Of course, having an imbalanced gut microbiome is going to manifest in some of those things. So, mood disorders is number 3. I want to note here, if any of these are resonating with you guys, if you have struggled with any of these symptoms, especially if you feel like you've tried other things and you've not found relief, I've got more coming. This Friday, finally, it's this week. I'm so excited. This Friday, I am hosting a webinar, a live webinar. You can join me online. I'm going to be doing an amazing presentation on some really, really valuable information. But the most important thing here is that I'm going to be sharing with you the exact system that I have used for myself as well as hundreds of other people to bring them healing and relief in balancing your gut microbiome. So I know some people the last few weeks hearing all the stuff I've been sharing are just like, okay, well, now what do I do? That's what this webinar on Friday is for. I'm going to be sharing with you exactly what to do. I promise I am not going to let you walk away empty-handed. You will have something very tangible, a plan, a system you can walk away with, and it's going to blow your mind. So make sure you grab your spot for the webinar this Friday. It's happening this Friday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, which is an hour later than we started here, based off wherever your time zone is. If you can't join me live, I really hope you can join me live. I really, really, really hope you can, because it's going to be amazing. But even if not, you can grab your spot for the webinar, because you will be able to catch the replay for a limited amount of time. So I don't want you guys to miss what I'm sharing there. So intermission there after number 3 to remind you to grab your spot for the webinar. You can do that, the link in my bio. If you're watching the replay, I'll share it for you guys in the description here, but do that. Grab your spot for the webinar. It's going to blow your mind. Emma, Sarah, Stephanie, so disappointed I can't join live. I know, Stephanie, I'm so bummed that you can't make it. But again, grab your spot, sign up, because I will be sending anyone who wasn't able to be there live, you will get the replay that you can watch. So I know you're not going to want to miss it. You'll still get the same information, and you're going to love it. Okay, so we covered the first 3. Let's cover number 4. The 4th sign that you have an imbalanced gut microbiome is autoimmune diseases. This is near and dear to my heart as an autoimmune warrior. Almost 24 million Americans have a diagnosed autoimmune disease, and that is diagnosed. Unfortunately, so many people have undiagnosed autoimmune diseases. Again, this is so near and dear to my heart, because this is so much a part of my story. I had undiagnosed endometriosis that was covered by getting put on the pill at age 13. I had daily migraines and headaches. I had asthma. I had all these crazy things that you don't think are connected. I had asthma. I was a competitive runner, and I had really crippling asthma. And so, of course, the doctors were like, well, you have asthma. Let's give you some inhalers and put you on some steroids to breathe in, and you'll be able to breathe. But treating the root cause of my asthma, which again is because I had these inflammation-based issues attacking my lung tissue, because it was getting from my bloodstream into my lungs. Treating the root cause, after I dealt with this, and after I did what I'm sharing with you on Friday, I have not in my life had asthma ever again. I run all the time still. I can breathe. I do not have asthma. I do not need inhalers. It's crazy, right? So autoimmune diseases, unfortunately, many go undiagnosed. And again, this goes back to what I shared previously, the fact that 70% of your immune system is housed in your gut. 70% of your immune system lives inside of your gut. So of course, unfortunately, what happens with autoimmune diseases is we are triggered. Our system is seeing our own body tissues and cells as foreign and starts attacking our own cells. But this comes down to the fact that we have allowed particles through this process of leaky gut that I shared. If you have things that are supposed to be leaving your system, things that are foreign invaders in your bloodstream attaching to other parts of your tissues and your own body cells in ways that they shouldn't, this is what often triggers autoimmune diseases. So unfortunately, the list of autoimmune diseases is very, very long. Some of the most common ones are rheumatoid arthritis, celiac disease, Hashimoto's is unfortunately very, very common for women. And I shared a few weeks ago, I have a story highlight on my stories. This wasn't a live, but I just shared it on stories. And I will be sharing a lot more information on this too. But there's a highlight called hormones, and it's got a little triangle symbol, because I talked about how women, our hormones, we have a really important triangle between our thyroid, our ovaries, and our adrenals. So unfortunately for women, Hashimoto's is very common. For a lot of reasons, but Hashimoto's, Graves' disease, diabetes, type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune version of diabetes, lupus, inflammatory bowel disease, MS, psoriasis. Unfortunately, the list goes on and on and on. But many of us have autoimmune diseases. Once you are diagnosed with one, you are 4 times likely to be diagnosed with the second. I myself have had 3, but that's the point. Is that it's simply the fact that unfortunately our body is attacking our own system. And so it just depends based off your circumstances what tissues it's going to attack. So that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. But that is sign number 4 that you have an imbalanced gut microbiome is autoimmune diseases. And along with that as well, really any kind of infection, any kind of especially recurrent infections, any sign that your immune system is not operating to its highest and best often is because you have an imbalanced gut microbiome and therefore your immune system is being impaired. So that's number 4. Number 5, the 5th sign that you have an imbalanced gut microbiome is hormone imbalances. Okay, again, I get very, very, very fired up about this specifically because this is so much a part of my story, and hormones are so complex, especially for women. They are a part of everything that we do and experience. So it is so important to have healthy hormones. And with that, so much of that is not just your hormone production, but your hormone metabolism and regulation. So this is my story with Hashimoto's. Was actually my thyroid was operating fine. I was creating an appropriate amount of thyroid hormone. And so I was continually, unfortunately, by many different doctors I went to see, they were like checking certain hormone numbers and saying, well, you look fine. Your thyroid's producing the right hormone. But my body, because of gut issues, was not properly metabolizing and regulating my hormones my thyroid hormones, once they were produced. So there's something that is called your Estrobolone. Have you guys heard of this? I've only shared about this one other place. This is like more recent data that's coming out, and it's so freaking fascinating. Have y'all that are alive now, have you heard of your Estrobolone? It's crazy. Okay, let me tell you what it is. Your Estrobolone, sounding similar to your microbiome, your Estrobolome is a certain strain of bacteria that live inside your gut that are a part of your microbiome, but it's a fraction of your microbiome that actually works to metabolize your estrogen. So the majority of your estrogen metabolism is happening inside your gut by these specific strains of bacteria. So, unfortunately, so many women, most women, do not have the proper experience with hormones that we're supposed to. So many women are prescribed the pill as a band-aid to this because whether it's estrogen dominance, whether it's poor estrogen metabolism, all of these things are so interconnected. But your Estrobolome is specifically inside your microbiome. It has the very important function of regulating your estrogen and metabolizing your estrogen so your body has something to actually do with it. So again, I need to control how deep I go into all of these things because I could spend 2 hours talking to you about just this, but I think you get the point there. That's just one tiny paint stroke in the whole range of hormone imbalances, but that's just one example, but so many of your hormones are metabolized in your gut by your microbiome. So sleep issues, if you have trouble falling asleep, staying asleep, anything related to cortisol and stress, all of this is so interconnected with your hormones, right? Again, cortisol is created within that triangle. We have our sex hormones, our estrogen, our thyroid, which helps to modulate our metabolism, but also our adrenals create cortisol. And so they're all very connected, but any kind of imbalance in your hormones, women, if you have been put on the pill at any time in your life, all of these things are very connected. Okay, number 6, this is the last one I'm covering today. The 6th sign that you have an imbalance in your gut microbiome is sugar cravings. Can I get an amen? Sugar cravings are a sign that you have an imbalanced gut microbiome because, does anyone know why? I know some of y'all are still hanging out here Tell me if you know why sugar cravings are a sign of an imbalanced gut microbiome. Rhonda says she has bad hormones and arthritis. Thank God you sleep good. Amen. Yes. Thank God you sleep good. Sleep is so underrated. I'm telling you guys, I'm a nutritionist. I believe in the power of food and what you eat, but there is nothing more important to my health and the way that I feel each day than the quality of sleep that I get. The hours that I sleep, the time frame in which I sleep, all of it. It's so important. But yes, okay, so sugar cravings, let's just talk about this. Super briefly, I'm just gonna say this. Again, going back to your microbiome, 100 trillion bacteria that live in your gut. That's just bacteria. That's not even the fungus. So if you've heard of candida overgrowth, the candida diet, people are becoming more and more aware of how important yeast and candida are. Candida feeds off of sugar. Simple carbohydrates and sugars are what help candida grow and live and function. There is a healthy amount of candida that you're supposed to have in your gut and around your entire body that helps in the proper balance of your microbiome. But unfortunately, because too many of us have too many sugars in our diets, we often, in fact, 3 out of 4 women, 75% women have an candida overgrowth, have extra yeast in their system. Think about it. Oh my gosh, if you feel like sugar is just like, I know people talk about the sugar monster. Obviously, in a lot of ways, we crave what we eat. So the more sugar you eat, the more you're going to crave it. And the more that you can take a break from sugar, the less you crave it. Also, the more that you eat high quality fats, you drink water, all these extra things I could tell you about that help curb sugar cravings. But let's just look at this super simply. If you have 100 trillion bacteria and a lot of candida in your system that is inside your system that is crying out for sugar, especially if you feel like you're doing all the right things to curb sugar cravings and you're like, what is it? There is a monster inside me. This is not me. This is past my own brain and proper functioning. I feel like I cannot overcome this. It's because there is a sugar monster living inside you, and it's called 100 trillion bacteria cells that are crying out for it and driving you to eat it because they die without it. So that's sign number 6. And again, this is all very interconnected because your sugar cravings, your blood sugar, your sugar regulation has important effects on your hormones. All of this is so interconnected. But number 6 sign that you have an imbalanced gut microbiome is sugar cravings. Okay, again, like I said, that's just 6. So many others. Brain fog, fatigue, skin issues like acne, dermatitis. I mentioned psoriasis is a autoimmune disease, but any kind of skin like rashes and issues. If you have a white coating on your tongue, if you are a woman with recurrent yeast infections or UTIs, any kind of recurrent infection, even like ear infections. For kids, it's especially common, but sleep troubles, like I said, trouble maintaining or losing weight, the list goes on. The list goes on, but we covered 6. Hopefully those are resonating with you guys. How do you get checked if you have a yeast overgrowth? Okay, that's a great question, and I'm actually going to be sharing about this in the webinar. So there are ways to test. There are tests you can do to find out if you have overgrown yeast in your system. Unfortunately, most doctors do not do these, and also they can be very, very, very pricey. So I'm going to teach you in this webinar on Friday how to know and what steps to take to help you know, as well as what you can do without fully having a verified test showing that this is an issue. There's yeast overgrowth, so often referred to as candida because that's the most popular type of yeast that we have overgrown in our systems. There's also SIBO. If you've heard of SIBO, that's small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. So those two are different. Candida and bacteria fungus and bacteria are different, but they are interconnected because, again, they all balance each other out in your microbiome. I'm going to be talking in the webinar about all this. So don't miss it. I could clearly talk forever. I'm really very, very, very excited about what I'm going to be sharing with you guys. I have really loved how many of y'all are connecting on this gut health topic. It is so important. It is the absolute foundation of your physical, mental, and emotional health for so many reasons. And hear me when I say, I had so many stubborn health issues that were diagnosed, misdiagnosed, undiagnosed. And I did everything. I'm a nutritionist. I am educated in this stuff. I did so much that didn't work because I was doing it wrong. So the webinar on Friday, I'm going to be, of course, explaining to you how all of this is connected. I'm also going to be talking about why other treatments that you have tried haven't worked or have only worked temporarily. So if you're like, hey, Molly, I know that my gut is important. I take probiotics. I take collagen in my coffee. I drink bone broth. Like, I know these things are important, but I'm not experiencing relief. I'm going to be explaining to you why. And most importantly, I'm going to be sharing with you the exact system I have used that is so strategically created, but simply where you can, in 14 days, improve your health. I am so excited to share this with you guys because I have so many success stories of people who have truly experienced relief from this, myself among the list. So really excited to share that with you. Don't miss it. Again, if you are here live, you can click the link in my bio to sign up for the webinar. It's happening this Friday, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. I really, really hope you can make it live, but if you can't, still sign up and grab your spot because you will be getting a limited time replay where you can watch it on your own timing if you can't join us live. So still grab your spot even if you can't be there at 11 on Friday. But sign up for the webinar. You'll be getting details in your email. I'm so excited. I'm truly so excited and I can't wait to see y'all there and I can't wait to help you on actually taking action. The last 3 weeks we've talked about why this stuff is important. Hopefully that's resonating with you, but I am really excited for Friday because you're going to walk away with really tangible action steps to take and I'm just so excited for you. So that's it. This week's Monday with Molly. I loved it. Here is some encouragement and light and joy being spread across this Instagram screen for y'all to just take into your week, enjoy it, show up for yourself, visualize what your brightest life, what your brightest week looks like. What does it look like for you to show up for yourself, for the people around you this week, and go do it. Take tiny little action steps towards that. It's going to be a great week. It's going to be a great week because so many of y'all on Friday are going to have your minds blown and your lives changed, and I'm very, very excited. So don't miss it. Thank you for joining me for this week's Monday with Molly. I cannot wait to see y'all again next Monday, and especially here on Friday for the webinar. So don't miss it. Can't wait to see y'all there. I hope you have a lovely week. Bye, Sarah, Carly, Heather, Andrea. Oh my gosh, this is so fun. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Rhonda. Have a great week. I'll see y'all later. Bye.